Hey, what's up you guys? So today I'm gonna be teaching you how to make a trap beat on Soundtrap. So by the end of the video you'll know everything about that kind of stuff, how to produce it, which are the best sounds that there are on Soundtrap. So a while ago I made a video called how to make a LoFi on Soundtrap, or just sound. And you guys really seem to like that. Why not do something similar? I also got Ableton now, so I hope my Soundtrap knowledge or my producing knowledge got a little bit better. But without any further ado, let's start. Okay, so for this tutorial we're gonna start with the drums. I'm gonna begin with the hi-hats, and to do that you just go on this little plus sign over here, and then you go on the drum symbol. Once this pops up, you want to go over here, drums, and then you can select your drum set. My favorite one is vanilla. I feel like it works very well with modern music. And yeah, I'm gonna add some hi-hats here. I'm gonna fill up every 2 spaces, but I want to make it a little bit more interesting, so I'm gonna add a stutter. I think that's okay. I'll figure out if I want the stutter there or not. Just a second. Now I'm just gonna draw in the kicks, but I'm gonna add a separate one to it because I feel like sometimes that's more organized. Okay. There you go. Wait, is this the 7th one? Okay. Now the kicks, I'm gonna add the snare with it too because even though it is more organized, I don't want to add another thingy to it. I just want to get through this. Wait. Okay, so you have to think how the snares and stuff would match the hi-hats. So this is what I'm trying to do now. I think this would be pretty good. I'm not sure though. I hope my camera can hear this sound. I think that's good now. Wait, I'm not happy with this one over here. Yeah, I'm gonna add it like this. Yeah. Okay. Okay, now that I have this, I'm just gonna loop it. At least until here. Oh, okay. So to loop, you just click the little circle thing, like a repeat button, almost. Kind of looks like that. To make the recording pop a little, you could add claps to it. So I have seen a lot of people do that with the snare. So every time there's like a snare, there's a clap, which kind of makes it more obvious that the snare exists. So what you can do is just go on the search bar, searching clap, and then you can select between these claps. My favorite one is this one, I think. Let me hear it. It loads. Okay. Yeah. That clap kind of sounds more natural than this one. It sounds like someone's hitting somebody else, and I don't know. So yeah, I'd recommend to use that clap, and the way you use that sound is just dragging it in. The reason why I'm explaining all of this like specifically is because this is a beginner video, so for someone who doesn't really know how to do this stuff. Now to match it with your snares, you would have to select it, and then you cut it. You cut in the part that you want to use. You can do, wait, is it cut? No. You select it, you cut it, and then just delete the others. And then you match it with your snares. This can be very hard to do if your whole recording looks like this, because the snares are really tiny. So I'd recommend you to click on this little button here. I don't know how you call it in English. That's like magnifier, maybe a magnifier, like the thing you use to see your image bigger, not a microscope though. So yeah, you just put that there in, and then you can also just copy this and then you paste it, so then it's less work. Once you have it that it matches, that could save you a lot of time. But I don't want to add a clap in this recording of mine, because I feel like that would kind of overcharge everything, like it would be too much at once. So I'm gonna skip to the melody. The part of the melody is not my favorite part. It is so complicated because it has to match your beats. Everything depends on the melody. You have the beat, the melody has to match the beat, and then you have to create a bass, and you can create strings that match the melody and the beat. So everything depends on that melody, which is complicated. And then it also has to kind of match your genre. I have already thought of something to do, so this will be it will be quicker than normal. So then again, you just click the plus sign, you select what you want. I have like usually people use bells, like a bell sound for trap. For that bell sound, let me see what I recommend. I have made a trap before, and I'm just trying to find the same one I used that time. I don't know, but I think it's called Clean Bell or something like that. This time I don't want to use a bell sound, so I'm gonna use a piano sound. It's called Bellish. It's also pretty nice and like sounds very clean, so that's why I like to use it. I've used it, I think I used it in my LoFi video as well. Just can't find it right now. I found the sound, here it is. So I'm gonna put that in. And last time I made a video about Soundtrap, I flipped my computer over to a touch screen and then recorded with this button over here everything that I did. That is an option if your computer is a touch screen. You can use a tablet, or you see those little letters over here? Yeah, those letters, when you press them on your keyboard, it makes a sound, but sometimes it doesn't really work, and that kind of pisses me off sometimes. So we're gonna use another way, which is in my opinion a little bit more professional. The producers usually do it this way. It's just by drawing in your notes, and there's a couple of things you have to keep in mind. For example, your tempo, your this thing that we put off at the start. Yeah, this is telling you when everything has to hit the beat, or has to where everything has to match basically. So that's our beat. Wait, da ba. So you have to keep that in mind once you're creating this. If you notice it, that little ba, the sound I made, the ba, it is this little line. Oops. Yeah. That's another thing. If you make a mistake, you can erase it very easily. You just click on it, highlight it, it goes purple when it's highlighted, and you click the backspace. The backspace makes it easy to delete everything. So yeah, I'm just gonna draw in my melody, and I'm gonna show you a few tricks while I do that. Okay, so after a long time, I have all my notes in here, and the trick I wanted to show you is that to create a larger or smaller or more specific pause between two notes, you can just zoom in on the same button I showed you before over here, and you'll see that you can get like an extra grid where you can put in or draw in your notes, and that allows you to have more specific space between each note. Like, yeah. I am not very good at explaining these type of things, but you can see how it goes. So every time I zoom out, the note shortens itself, but it still sounds the same. It's just your view of it to make it easier for you to put the notes in this system. So we have this. It currently sounds like this. And as you can tell, it matches the 120 tempo, because wait, let me zoom in on it. All the note changes or all the chord changes happen exactly when this is down. Here. You see the line? Yeah, that one. Which is what we wanted, so it matches the tempo. So now that we have this, I can unmute these. Why aren't they unmuting? Okay, wait, one thing. I want to add some effects on this one, like the reverb. I want that to go up, the delay maybe. Yeah. Frequency down. Like, these are all the effects you can add, and there's even more. Like, once you go over here, you can see these. Oh yeah, and then you can click here, which this is in German because German is my second language. I forgot to say that. All my Soundtrap is in German because that's just how I have it. But yeah, here it says add effect, and then here you have a whole library of effects you can add. Let me hear how it sounds now. Okay, like a bit too much. Reverb is literally killing my computer right now. This delay sound. Okay, once you add too much effects, the computer's like, this is overload of things, and it. Dang it. I need to get it back to how it was so it doesn't have that weird like effect or sound. Yeah. Okay, so once we have this. Okay. This is how the thing sounds, but we're not done yet. We still want to add a little something. We're gonna add a bass to it. Now, the bass is also kind of complicated because this is one that has to match the beat. Like, when there is a kick, that's when your bass should go. And the notes of the bass are supposed to match your melody. So we are gonna do that now. I like the electric bass, clean electric, because it kind of sounds like a 808. An 808 is the bass sound you use for most trap songs and even lo-fi. So I'm gonna draw in the notes here. Ones I want is Y. Like, this is the thing what I meant before. I don't get why it's not playing sometimes. Like, it's just not, it just doesn't want to. Great. Okay. So, Y is the C. I'm gonna take a C. And now I will make the bass match to the melody I have. Okay, so now I have the bass here. It sounds like this. Just give me a second to mute the other tracks. Okay, this is how it sounds. That is supposed to match. Wait, this one. Okay. It is a bass, so it's not gonna be very loud. You're not gonna hear it very well, but it still adds a little bit of thing to it. And for the last thing we're gonna do, we're gonna add some strings. Everyone seems to be doing this for traps, and I think it's pretty cool. It fills in the spaces you have, and I don't know, it makes it sound more flowy together. But for the strings, I'm gonna use the same notes I added for the bass, because I feel like that is just the easiest. Okay, so I put the thingy, I put the notes into the thing, this thing, and I looped it all, and this is just how the melody sounds, without any beat. It adds something, but it's too much because this is not supposed to be classical, it's supposed to be trap. So I'm gonna tune it down a bit. I think that's good. Now I'm gonna add these two. And there we go. So yeah, this is how you create a trap for beginners. Now, someone who would be more advanced will probably put this in two sections. Like, for example, having the strings or the bass and the beats playing first, like part 1 and part 2. Part 1 would have the bass maybe and a simpler version of the beat and the hi-hats there. And then after part 1, right after, comes this thing that we have here, which would be the part 2. But that would be something for another video because it takes longer. It's like rearrangement, and you would have to master the tracks a bit more. Mastering means like what is the track that you hear the most, which one do you hear a little bit more in the background, and that type of stuff. It's complicated, but yeah, this is how it sounds. At the end of this video, you will hear the whole thing. I'll leave it there for you. So that's it for the video. I hope you liked it. I hope it helped you out. It would mean a lot to me if you could follow me on my Instagram because I post covers there and stuff. I don't know if you're interested in that, but it would be really nice of you. And yeah, bye.